the first episode I'm making in my D&D themed banquet meal. So hopefully it'll be really super cool. I'm going to be doing a whole series of D&D based foods. This one is just the first one. Like I said, this one is the banquet. We're going to be doing one dish today for this episode, and that is our first entree, which will be salt bake perch. Okay, this is also the first video I'm doing in my kitchen. It's not very big. It's not a very big kitchen, but it'll be okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get to cooking. All right. So first I have got my perch. It is already filleted and scaled. I'm going to check it, make sure there's no bones. All right, see, fishy. Fish. All right, I have a whole bowl of kosher salt. It doesn't have to be kosher salt, it just needs to be coarse salt. It is the most widely used coarse salt. So I have a whole bowl of that, which was a 3-pound box of kosher salt. I have a couple of eggs. I'm going to be experimenting a little bit to find out how many egg whites, we're just using the whites, need to go in this. Okay? I've also got several seasonings here with me. I've got sage and rosemary and thyme. It's a bundle of it. We may not use all of it. I have also got in front of me, I'm going to need a lemon, both the zest and the juice inside. First, I'm going to start out with adding the eggs to this salt bowl of salt. So this is a bowl of salt. I have a trash bowl as well. It's not going to be in view. I have a very large spoon. What I'm going to do first is just dump it right into your hand until there's nothing but the yolk, and yolk goes in the trash bowl. Gonna do this several times. There we go. This one will work. You can just jiggle it right out of the shell instead of having to get it in your hands. Okay. I'm gonna do 2 to start out with. You're gonna drop, 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 drop. There we go. Stir. The more and more you mix, the more and more it's going to look like heavy snow. It's going to get a little thick. I'm going to do 1 more egg. Try and make it work right this time. There we go. Okay. Okay. 1 more mix. It's kind of clumpy, has formed little balls. Now we have our salt bowl that's mixed up. Now what we're going to do, I have lined a baking pan with aluminum foil. You can take my salt that I've just mixed up, and I'm going to scoop, not all of it, we're not doing all of it on the bottom. This should pack fairly nicely. You don't want it to be too thick on the bottom. Just want it to cover the bottom so that the fish isn't sitting directly onto the pan. I think that'll be good. Alright, so now we have our first perch fillet. I've checked them for bones, but I want to go ahead and make sure. Lay it skin side down. Going to take a second fillet out of my pack. Oh, yep, there's a bone. That's not something we want. See, they're very tiny, very thin. They call them pin bones, and those you don't want in your belly. So now that I've removed all the pin bones, this one is also going to go face down, matching the other fillet, okay? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to zest some lemons right over the fish, okay? How we zest is just the very outside of the lemon, okay? Once you start getting into the white part of the part right under the skin is when it's going to start getting bitter. It's called pith. You don't want that. That's not yums. That's not yums at all. Okay. Some of it's going to get on the salt. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Alright, we actually ended up not zesting the entire lemon. That's fine. That gives us a little extra to do some more with on top of the other spices. I'm also going to put some pepper on it. It's going to have plenty of salt, but you need to add some pepper, probably. Alright, not a lot. Just enough to decorate it. Okay, so we have pepper on here. Our bundle of herbs. Like I said, I have thyme, all the time in the world. I've got some thyme sprigs. I'm gonna put these in the middle of the fillet and work outward. I don't think you're gonna need the whole bunch. You might, depends on how big your fillets are. Alrighty, I'm probably gonna use the entire bunch of thyme in here. You can pat it down. Let's see, that's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so about 10 to 15 sprigs of thyme is what I used. I have 3 sprigs of sage. I'm going to tear it apart a little bit so it can equally go around it. Okay. And then I have 2 sprigs of rosemary. I'm also going to break these up because of how long they are. Okay. Pat it. Okay, and I'm going to take it apart again. Okay. So now we have a nice herb layer on top of our fillets. Alright, the next thing we are going to do is put the rest of the lemon zest that you have left on your lemon just right over the top of it. Okay. Thyme tends to be a little lemony as well. Sage is earthy, and so is rosemary. Okay, so we have a couple of different herb flavors going on. So back on this side again. Not using the knife I use either. I'm going to take a knife and cut my lemon in half. Happy lemon. Alright, I'm going to squeeze just right on top. I got a seed in there. Pluck. I'm only going to use the juice of half of a lemon, especially if your lemon is large. You may even want to use less. And for the second part of your lemon, you're going to do slices. It's not going to be many slices. It's only going to be like 2 or 3. And watch your fingers. You don't want to lose any. So like I said, just slice the other half. And they're going to go just right on top. Pretty. Okay. So now we have 2 more fillets that before we put them on, we are going to pepper. Just pepper them right over it though. Okay. Make sure it's going in the same direction as the other fillets and lay it skin side up. Okay? Try to cover as much of that bottom fillet as you can. Gonna pepper. Alright. And you want to, again, try and cover as much of that bottom fillet as possible. We have a little bit of extra space, so I am going to go ahead and use the one that I accidentally peppered and lay it on top. Okay. I still got space. Okay, so I'm going to do the last one that we have. I have one more fillet. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so it kind of looks like a mishmash of fish, but this is usually done with a whole fish. Not this time. Fillets are easier for me to work with. I've tried to do this a different way that's going to make it easier for y'all to be able to do this. It's easy to buy a pack of fillets. Grocery store. That's where I got mine. Didn't really go to the butcher shop. Didn't go to anywhere fancy. Just the grocery store. Okay? But so now we have our fillets all smushed together. And we're going to cover it with salt. Before we do, we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees and let that start working. We're going to scoop up some salt. You want this, you want to be careful not to let too much of it get actually into the fish here. You want to stack it up. And stack in, and stack in, stack in, stack in. It's easy to just make a dome. Start at the bottom and work up. Some of my rosemary sprigs are sticking out. That's fine. That's not a big deal. It's all covered up. It's literally just a dome of salt. This is going into the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 45 minutes. All right. So here we go. Okay, guys, so I have waited 45 minutes. Hopefully this will be done. All right. So I'm going to pull it out of the oven. It is probably going to be very heavy. Okay, guys, so I just pulled it out of the oven. It's still steaming. It's still crackling. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick peek at it. You can see it looks a little bit more brown. Oh, sorry, it's jiggly. It's a little bit more brown. We're going to crack it open. We're just going to crack it. Let that steam come on out. Woo. All right, let's see what we got. It looks done on the inside. Okay. Oh. Beat it, and it's going to fall off in chunks. All right, what's there? If you don't want to take all the salt off, how to tell it's done before you totally undo your mess here is to find a piece of the little fish and just try to pull that skin off. It should come off pretty easily if your fish is finished. So I'm going to take the rest of the salt off. You can kind of see how some of the salt did not crisp up. That just means I put too much on top. So not a huge deal there. It's just clean out might be an issue. Okay, guys. Real fast, we're going to look at this. This is not the prettiest piece of fish ever, but here we go. So it is a white fish. I did use Perch, so it's pretty white. Didn't have a big chance to brown in the oven since it's covered under some salt. Also, you don't want to eat the, I mean, it might just come off with it, but you don't want to eat the skin because it's not going to be crispy. So if it falls off, it falls off. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to try it. Oh, wow. That's how fish is supposed to taste. It's not super salty, even though it's baked in that salt. It's flaky. It's fallen off. It's not dry. As much lemon as we did put on it, it's not over lemony. I've got a couple more fillets to dig out of here. Guys, I'm so glad you watched this video. You have got to try this. like, even if you don't like D&D and you don't care about banquet food and having a cool party while your friends are over having D&D, you have to try this. This is amazing. I'll put the recipe down below in the description. This has been The Table, bringing salt-baked fish to your table for a D&D night. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. From a different idea, different theme, but kind of overall, some of them are going to carry the same themes, but they're going to be different. Y'all are all like, haven't you made it before? Nope. First try, worked out. Pretty excited about that.